Now, how about now? There we go. There we go. There's some volume. There's some volume. You got me now? You got me now, copycat? Uh, Tin uses this, so I let you, Tin use the StreamYard, and so when she switches it, then I have no volume, and when she switches it, she has no volume. So I have to. Yeah, it is. It's a the Philippines right now though is under. I mean, they're having major typhoons and stuff. I just thought I'd come on this morning because we're getting really, really close to election, and everybody's getting in an uproar. Everybody. I'm not getting in an uproar. Are you getting in an uproar, copycat? Motodoc, are you in an uproar? I'm not. I'm not. Whatever happens, happens, and we really can't stop the ball from rolling. That's for sure. I think that the closer we get to election, we're going to see more and more things, and it's just such a chaotic event every time there's an election. It gets really to the point that it's nonsense. And I've been really trying to stay focused on real world prepping, like, really. You can't hear me? You can hear me? You can hear. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? It says I have volume. I see the volume. Are you talking that you have no volume? Is there volume? Give me a 10 by 10, somebody. Don't tell me I'm sitting here talking to myself this morning. Is there a 10 by 10? Oh, you can't hear me. Okay, that's good. That's good. Sandip Kahardi, top of the morning or evening to you, wherever you're at. I think that, I just wanted to come on this morning with actually some real world prepping. Real world prepping. And real world prepping is a lot different than a lot of the prepping channels talk about. A lot of times in the past, I've talked about, you know, the news and things like that. But the news is this: it's not going to stop no matter what. Zagato, Zagato, what's going on? A lot of times when the rain stops, that's when the sun shines, and that's when we realize real world prepping is about getting ourselves prepared for all kinds of weather catastrophes, all types of things, financial doom and gloom, health issues, getting healthier, being more prepared in case of a financial struggle, being prepared in case you can't go to the market, right, Zagato, to get rice, to get food. Those things are really important. Is no matter where you're at in the world, is that we need to know that the government is not going to come in and save the day. A lot of times it takes the people to stand together to help each other, and that's really what this channel's always been built on, is community. No matter what's happened here, no matter how many people have left and came back and all that good stuff and all that nonsense, the thing is that real people, real world prepping is about helping each other, sharing the skills, making people laugh, making people smile, and enjoying the things around us, not forgetting that YouTube's great, but there's a real world out there with real people with real feelings, and really touching some of those people's hearts. Well, maybe touching them, you never know, right? But being happy in the now is like so important. And right now I'm really happy in the now, but you know why? Because I made, can y'all see it? I made orange frosted cinnamon rolls this morning. Yummy, yummy. Making sure that you have plenty of water, that's real world prepping. Making sure that you know how to purify water in case of a catastrophe. Thank you so much, Zagato. Where you been? I've been working a lot, so it's hard for me to come on lives and schedule lives. We are going back to Sunday night trivia, so we're going to have Sunday night trivia. A lot of people joined in last week, and it was a lot of fun. I've been putting out a lot of shorts. My channel is basically changing gears again because I love YouTube. I love the people on YouTube, and that's why I'm not leaving. But the world changes and things change around you. Oh yeah, well, I like my bioengineered food. Copycat, everywhere we look, no matter really whatever you're eating, it has something nasty about it. It really does. Right now, here in Colorado, there's a E. coli breakout at Mickey D's. Imagine that. Mickey D's has a E. coli breakout, and it's pretty nasty. Um, One person actually perished from it, and there's like 50 people sick. But the food that we're getting, copycat, when you talk about food, that's one thing that we all need to realize is the food in the United States has really went to crap. We talked about this last year about all of us eating credit cards because there's so much plastic and bullshit in our food. And I think that when we look at that alone, that should give us all a reason to have a survival garden, to be able to plant our own fruits, vegetables, maybe raise chickens or raise a pig to produce our own food and know what they're actually getting. Bioengineered food is so bad. Eggs are so bad here in the United States that I was looking at this report about the food, and they wonder why people in the United States are so sick all the time. Maybe because we're getting this terrible, terrible food source. And what's really amazing to me here in the United States is that we could produce our own food without all the bioengineering, without all the chemicals. But what we do is we raise our animals here and we ship them overseas to be slaughtered and butchered and bring them back. And that right there, imagine how long it takes, right? Imagine how long it takes to transport food via ship across the ocean to get it processed and then bring it back. The same with eggs. You know, eggs setting in the warehouse 6 months. I talked about that before. And when you think about that, that's nasty. I did find someone here in Colorado so I can get farm fresh eggs because I don't have the capabilities right now where I'm living to raise chickens. I would love to. That was one of my things when I was in the cabin that I really wanted to do is have a garden and chickens. It never really occurred other than my poor man's garden where I just threw shit. I threw seeds in a bucket and all of a sudden I had vegetables. And you know, a lot of times people think that, well, I gotta have skills. I gotta learn how to do this and this and this to garden. But really, if you would just plant the seeds, you know, it's like planting the seed of happiness. It's like planting the seed of God in people's hearts. It's planting the seed of prepping in people's hearts. Is you plant the seed, and no matter what you do, it begins to grow. And that's really important. There isn't anything we can do to get rid of a bioengineered food. No, no. And the other big problem, copycat, with the food is we flip it over to the water side, and we have water issues across the United States with mercury levels that are so high that it's unreal. But most countries around the world have some type of water issue. That's because they buy and sell the water. We know what's happened in the United States where they've sold water all around the world, our water, where it's to the point that the water is being reprocessed and remanufactured, going back to these manufacturing plants. And it was Billy Boy that came up with this great solution: recycle the water, recycle the urine, recycle the feces. No shit, literally no shit, and recycle that and then put it back out to the public. You know, we're at a situation around the world where the governments are not for the people at all in any way, shape, or form. And some countries are used to that, but we're not used to that in the United States. We're not used to the point that we're watching the United States that we know crumble. I was talking to a guy yesterday at work, and he said, "You know what, Kim?" He goes, "I want to get out of the United States. I don't want to raise my kids here." And when you hear people say that about the good old USA, that's really, really a sad situation. You're growing romaine lettuce, spaghetti squash, and spinach. Vitamin D, and vitamin D. That's awesome, copycat. And I think that we do need those vitamin D, high nutrients of vitamin D, because the thing is most people in the United States are deficient of vitamin D, which we could get it naturally from being out in the sun more and less on in the house. But we've also become that society where you don't. How many of you really right now in the chat? There's like 800 of you between my three platforms. How many of you in the chat right now see that when you go outside, you don't see kids riding bikes, you don't see kids playing, you don't see parents and kids going for walks, and that's happening more and more because see they've given us the pacifier of the internet, social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, blah blah blah. And so what happens is we have a society of people that are becoming more and more vitamin deficient, which in return is going to provide people with cancer and disease, right? Very true. It's really sad that this country and around the world is becoming so addicted to social media that people can't function. You might remember we had the meltdown of Facebook like a year ago, and I was laughing my ass off because Facebook went down for 5 minutes, and you would have thought it was a nuclear war or something, right? Because everybody was panicked. I think that prepping in the real world, it comes down to skills, comes down to preparing for situations that you may not think will ever happen to you. But trust and believe when it does, it would be better to have a little safety net or a little bit of insurance to keep going than to sit there and go, okay, this was a major catastrophe and now I'm screwed, right? That's the reason people should prep. People should prep first by getting centered. And when I say centered, that means spiritually. We are stronger than we give ourselves. We are way stronger than we give ourselves. Each one of you, most of you have come through some type of catastrophe in your life. And when you come out the other side and you go, you know what? I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. And that's why I called this live stream. I can see clearly now. I have been through major changes in my life this last year. But what I've learned about Off the Wall Prepper, about Kim, about KJ, whoever you want to call me, it's Kim, but Off the Wall Prepper here on YouTube, is that I'm a strong, strong individual. That when I get beat to the point that I feel like I'm going to break, I praise it all up and I thank God because as long as you can go to sleep and wake up in the morning and put your boots back on the ground, you will continue to go. You can never give up and you can never give up hope, light, love, any of that or faith because that is really the journey of life is really getting centered on what makes you happy. You know, I've had some issues and I've also had to look deeply at myself. Like what causes me to repeat some of the things in my life that have happened to me? And I've come to the conclusion that I'm too soft sometimes. I'm too nice. And people take that for weakness and they begin to take advantage of me and I allow it to happen. And many of you can probably relate to that. I think that when we really look deep within ourselves and we look in the mirror and go, you know what, you're all right, Kim. Off the wall, no matter what people say about you, if they can't see who you really are, your spirit, then they never really knew you in the first place, right? And many of you I'll never ever meet. And I would love to meet some of you. I would love to meet some of you. I used to not want to meet anybody on social media because I still think it could be dangerous to anybody. But I think the most important thing that we can all do is that know when it stops raining that something wonderful is going to shine in your life and to never ever give up. That's why the motto here has been for like what the last 3 years is do the dang thing. And do the dang thing can mean a lot of different things to people. Right now, me, do the dang thing is setting up financial accounts to be more stable, looking for assets that I can purchase. Right now, I'm looking at some properties. I want to purchase another property. Does it mean I'm going to live in it? No, I like this little house. I'm trying to purchase the little house too. Well, and you know what, copycat, you know what I've come to the realization of is that many people that walked away when all the drop a bomb on me, baby, right? When that happened, and many people that walked away that thought off the wall prepper was the best thing since applesauce, right? They really didn't know me. And I really don't feel that I need to come on YouTube and bash anybody or keep bringing up old garbage. See, I dropped that garbage along the wayside. I prayed over it and I let it go on fire and let it burn up because I don't want to carry that around. I don't have ill feelings toward anybody. And I think that that's one of the hardest things in life. And you know, when you're prepping, one of the biggest preps you can have is your mentality and your spirit. If we have to belittle people and talk shit about them on a daily basis to gain attention to ourselves, then there's something wrong, right? There's something wrong. I have to give out a big shout out real quick to Skipping 10. Skipping 10's live stream went viral yesterday, 40,000 views. So, whoa, Skipping 10, Buddha bada boom, you know. Wow. I was really happy for her. I was kind of crabby yesterday. I was on job overload. I'm learning so many things at one time, and sometimes it's overload. But I hope that each and every one of you, you know, you keep prepping, that you keep doing the things that feel good in your life. Find those hobbies, find things to occupy your mind and to make you stronger because that is really about prepping. That's real world prepping. I am going to play the theme song for the morning, which is I Can See Clearly Now. A lot of times through life, though, I want to say this about myself is a lot of people have thought, oh, well, I can bullshit Kim, I can bullshit, I can try to pull the wool over my eyes, and I can see really clear. See, I don't always talk what I see because sometimes, and you might feel the same way as you watch this, is that sometimes it's better to know and not say nothing than to rattle off at your mouth. Sometimes it's better to evaluate the situations around you, like even with the gray man theory, bushcrafting, prepping, whatever you're learning on your journey of life, is sometimes it's better to remain silent and to really observe what's happening around you and then make a good decision for you in your life. Not to always jump to the gun that this person did that or this person did this, or that maybe you are not where you want to be. Sometimes if we just take the time to let the rain come and the storms wash over us and the sun come out, things get a lot better because you will see clearly the next day or maybe the next week or maybe the next year. But if you take the time to slow down and smell the roses, as I always say, life is a journey and life is what we make it. It's definitely what we make it. You know, I thought when all this nonsense started, the end of 2023, I thought that it was always going to be raining. And now here I sit in Colorado where I wanted to be for many years again with family, a real mag, old friends, a new adventure career wise, and all these wonderful things. And then I can't leave out this new relationship that, I think our biggest problem is communication. And the West and the East are so different. And getting over some of those hurdles are very interesting. Communication and language barriers, woo, it can be really rough. LDRs can be really rough. But I think the biggest thing for me is that I'm living alone, right? I'm living alone. So I'm getting to know me again and not allow anybody to come in and tell me, hey, this is wrong with you or that's wrong with you. I have to see those things for myself and be happy. And that takes a lot to look in the mirror and not repeat your same mistakes over and over throughout life. I really hope that you all, as you listen to the song, and I'll come back on and we'll chit chat some more. I want to bring up a couple prepping topics today. So, and I got the time. So I'm going to play this song and really think about it. You can see clearly now. Just don't ever give up. It took a lot, Copycat. I want to say that, you know what? It really. Stop stop spraying chemtrails. It's okay, chemtrails. Yeah, stop it. There's no reason. There's no reason to keep doing that. It takes a lot to shut your mouth sometimes. It really does. It takes a lot. So let's listen to the song and I'll be right back. This is the theme song for the day. I can see clearly now. One other thing, never try to bullshit the bullshitter. You might lose. Clearly now the rain has gone. Yeah, that fits. I can see clearly now. Financial stress, no matter if you're going through health issues, it is going to be a bright, sunshiny day. I love music. Music brings people together. It really does. And one of the other songs is that I got CPR on this. Who cares? I don't care anymore about YouTube. I just, whatever, as long as they don't give me a strike, I don't really care. you know, um, Back on My Feet Again. It's a oldie from the early 2000s, but it like fits my life right now is because people thought they could knock me down and that I would quit prepping. I did quit my news channel, but that just took stress off my life. But I'll tell you what, back on my feet again, back on my feet now, back on my feet, standing up, doing the dang thing, keep walking in faith, light, love, and hope is like so important. And especially like even in our prepping life, in our on our relationships, husbands or wives say blah blah blah, nag on you, maybe misunderstand you, and remember why you fell in love with them in the first place. That's what I got to say. Remember why you fell in love with them in the first place. So let's get back on my feet again because I love, 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 love this song. I love this song.
I was so lonely until I met you. Told myself I'd get by without love. Drowning my sorrows, avoiding tomorrows. Kinda felt that I just had enough. You light up my face with your jokes and your smiles, and the way that you came every night. Don't know what you got, but I'm sure glad I found you. Could be wrong, but it sure feels right. And here I am, I'm back on my feet again. Here I am, I'm back on my feet again. Surprised at myself for the way that I feel. So happy that you're here with me. Somewhere that I've known have left me with nothing, but I guess that was just meant to be. And here I am, I'm back on my feet again. Here I am, I'm back on my feet again. I was out for the count, I was down, I was beat, I was crying. I was caught in the bed, I was hiding my face, sick of trying. I was so lonely until I met you. Told myself I'd get by without love. Drowning my sorrows, avoiding tomorrow's kind of thought that I just had enough. And here I am, I'm back on my feet again. Here I am, I'm back on my feet again. Yeah, here I am, I'm back on my feet again. Here I am, I'm back on my feet again. Oh yeah, here I am, I'm back on my feet again. Here I am, I'm back on my feet again. Here I am, I'm back on my feet again.
Gonna break these chains around me. Gonna learn.
Well, we don't want to hear that. That's too mellow. That's too mellow. That's too mellow. We don't want to hear that mellow la 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 la. Congratulations again, Skippin' 10. Way to go, 40K views on her live stream. That takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication, I'll tell you what. She has over 4 million views on her channel. Go, babe, go. I mean, that's huge. I support her 155% in everything that she does. She is the most wonderful spirit that you've ever met. She has a heart of gold. And a lot of people don't see that. A lot of people don't see that. They really don't. They see, oh, well, look what she's doing. Oh, a lot of, yeah. But you know what? It's all Zumba Zumba, and wherever your mind goes, well, that's on you. Like, right? I hope that everybody keeps prepping. I hope everybody has an absolutely fabulous day because it is a boombastic day. Here we go. Let's shake it up. Shaking it up, shaking it up. Shaking it up. Woo. Did your daddy sing bass? I'm just curious.
Well, I remember when I was a lad. Times
Oh,
were
we're taking it
hard and
different.
things were
Woo, we're different. Hold up.
bad. But there's a silver lining behind every cloud.
Woo, this is some weird music going on this morning. We got it all mixed up.
Just simple people. That's all we were. Trying to make a living out of black land's dirt. We'd get together in a family circle singing loud.
Oh.
And Daddy sang bass.
Mama sang tenor, and you little brother would join right in
Aha.
there. Singing seems to soothe a troubled soul.
Someday soon, and it won't be long, I'll rejoin them with a song. Well, I'm gonna join the family circle at the throne.
For the circle won't be.
Woo, where am I going today? Where am I going? I'm just all over the place. I like mornings like this where I'm just like into the music and I don't really care. I don't really care. Oh, well. I want to play this song where if I can find it. It's actually being nice to me. It's actually being nice to me. Oh, you can't stop that feeling, can you? You certainly can't. Well, this goes out to my one and only Filipina girl. I love this song. It's by Billy Crawford and Marcus Davis. Oh, here we go.
You got my heart and you had it the first day we met. One look at you and I knew this as good as it gets, yeah. I look in your eyes and I'm watching the sunset. I need this forever, baby, I need this forever. Cause I lose myself around you, girl, you got some kind of way. There's just something about you, girl, that makes me wanna stay. I could spend the rest of my life ride or die with you. That's just what you do. There ain't nothing in this world, nothing in this world like a Filipino girl. There ain't nothing in this world, nothing in this world like a Filipino girl. There ain't nothing in this world like a Filipino girl. There ain't nothing in this world like a Filipino girl.
You got me all in my feelings. I'm feeling some kind of way. And now that you got me here, there's so much I want to say. Like, I love the way that you light up the room. I need you back like the sun need the moon. I see the future and baby it's you. I see the future and baby it's you and I.
Lose myself around you, girl. You got some kind of way. That's just something about you, girl, that makes me wanna stay
here. I could spend the rest of my life ride or die with you. That's just what you do. Girl,
there ain't nothing in this world, nothing in this world like a Filipino girl. There ain't nothing in this world, nothing in this world like a Filipino girl. There ain't nothing in this world like a Filipino girl. There ain't nothing in this world like a Filipino girl. You got me when I first saw you. I was like, damn, I want you. I couldn't stand on falling into your bed and we stay till the morning. Can I be honest? Pagising sa umaga di walang alam. Ikaw ang tanging nasa isip o binibini. Ikaw yung laging panaginip. Halika na baby, nasasabi ka ko lately. And if you find a Filipina and she find you better keep her. Cause there ain't nothing like a Filipina girl.
Nothing in this world like a Filipina girl. There ain't nothing in this world, nothing in this world like a Filipina girl.
There ain't nothing in this world like a Filipina girl. There ain't There ain't nothing in this world like nothing, girl. Hey. If you find a Filipina and she find you, better keep her.
Song. I love that song. I'm glad everybody's here this morning. Let's talk some prepping talk. Let's talk a little bit of prepping. Let's talk a little bit more prepping. I know that this is really a prepping channel, but you all know that I'm off the wall. And so I bring all kinds of things to this channel. I always have, always will. It's really, I'm going to give you some woo. Do we need to talk about some woo? We probably do. We probably do. What's the woo for you today? What is the woo? What is the woo? It's that time of the year here in the United States that we get ready. We get ready for winter, that we get prepped for winter. And we have been talking about it, the last, I don't know, the last week or two when I'm having time to come on is getting really prepped up for winter, getting prepared for the things. What's up, Emmy? Emmy. It's the time in the Philippines that they're getting prepped up for. I don't know how you really get prepped up for typhoons. I really don't. I really don't know how you would get prepped up for a typhoon. There has to be some things that you can do to make your situation better. Probably by keeping your valuables and items that mean a lot to you on an upper floor just to protect them for when the torrential rains come down. It is a catastrophe mess right now in the Philippines. It really is. You haven't slept yet. Or Emmy, are you in the way of the typhoon? The typhoon is doing some damage there in the Philippines, that's for sure. It really is doing some damage. You know, I appreciate everybody's support on this channel, no matter what's happening. It's interesting to me, the things that are occurring around the world. The weather seems really, really off, really off. The things that are occurring right now. But I do want to talk about some things. You can go to My Patriot Supply, which there is a link on my channel for that. It has some really great survival information, and they have great articles that they do pretty much on a weekly or monthly basis. You know, we were talking in depth about food because of copycat and the age of surveillance agriculture. It's going to change the things that we eat. It's happening around the world. Just consider what happened recently with CrowdStrike's faulty software update. It caused all those grounded flights a while back, and it knocked out media outlets. They were offline. Social media was offline. There was disrupted hospitals, small businesses, and even government offices. Imagine if that happens again on a worldwide scale, how it would change the way we communicate, since most of us flock to social media to communicate with each other. You know, it is called surveillance agriculture for a reason. It's being sent out as a way and a key to better crops, less harm to the environment, and ways for farmers to save money. It may be true, but there's really a dark, dark side to it and a very dangerous side to it. It's similar to the technology of smart cities, which we've talked about here on this channel before. Smart cities that are being popped up around the United States for sure, where basically, and that's already occurred overseas, smart cities where everything you do is under surveillance, from cameras to tech watching you and knowing what you do. And so there's some countries that the smart cities are already so enabled that they're actually able, if you're, for example, on the street and you decide to go take a leak in the corner, just saying, they can actually see your face. They can actually see what you're doing and send out a warning or a ticket or an arrest. Surveillance agriculture involves using advanced technologies such as remote sensing, LOT devices, and AI to monitor and manage agriculture production. At least that's what most people are being told about this type of agriculture. They claim surveillance agriculture is a good thing because it will help farms and it'll lead to more food security for people around the world. But it also is manipulating professional productive behavior. And that is a really, really big issue when it comes to prepping because it removes decision making from the actual farmer. So there's multiple companies that have created this technology and systems that perform the agriculture monitoring, and they all claim it is beneficial for farmers and the rest of us. But keep this in mind, they are selling products. Of course, they're going to focus on the benefits for them. But here are some of the claims these companies are making, like Simon LOT. They say that farm monitoring offers numerous benefits, and it's not just about better crops, but also smarter use of resources, less harm to the environment, informed decisions, and cost savings. Now, this is coming directly from them. What they don't mention to us, right? What they don't mention are the potential downfalls of surveillance agriculture. See, there's a huge, huge problem with surveillance agriculture. It's the dependence on technology. As surveillance agriculture becomes the norm, farms will be more dependent on tech and jobs are going to be lost and people will be replaced by robots, just like we've talked about in the past. So, that alone is a huge, huge thing. Who needs the good old farmer's almanac when you've got the internet, right? Remote sensing and AI. But we've seen how well that works in the past. We've seen it with the balloon that flew over the United States that was put up there by China. And the technology basically stated that, it's okay. And they waited. And it was all about surveillance of that balloon that flew over the United States. What was the information that they were really collecting is the question. And so that brings me to security issues when it comes to this new surveillance agriculture. Because, like anything that involves the internet and tech, there's huge, huge security issues to consider. And if a farm goes all in with surveillance agriculture, it'll be a risk of a huge cyber attack. And cyber criminals are always targeting food and water. And we've seen that also when out in Vegas, when they had the little situation where there was a little fire out there at the Hoover Dam. And we had the situation in Salt Lake City at the lake where the water was disappearing. Why? Because tech and AI are able to manipulate things so easily. And just like if you Google something today, just for example, you Google something today, and what's really interesting is that because we've opened ourselves up to tech and to the internet, actually you might realize this is that if you punch in something, for example, you're looking for a new car, all of a sudden in your thread, be it on Facebook, social media, YouTube, Twitter, Twitter, whatever the social media platform or the tech you're using, including Google, including Facebook, all of a sudden those ads start appearing. How is that? Because they know you better than you know yourself. And that's why we have a huge, huge problem with AI we're all becoming so reliant on AI. People at the restaurants cannot even count change back to you manually or at a grocery store because if tech goes down, the system goes down and they're unable to access those registers like back in the day when it was the good old push button and they could do that. So as we become more and more reliant on tech, we really are putting ourselves at risk. We've talked about the CBDC before. That is the ultimate game. It is a very ultimate game. It is scary. It is scary. And it is scary that people and kids cannot do basic math. Kids cannot write cursive. Think about the way the world has changed in the last 20 years and how it's shifted. People right now on this channel are from Asia and India and Germany and Africa, all over the world. We would never be able to come together like that when there wasn't the internet. So that is a cool aspect of the internet. I would have never met Skippington, for example. Never. I would have never met her. But the bad and the scary thing is the industries across the United States are seeing widespread cyber attacks, which now, if they bring in this agriculture, if they bring in surveillance agriculturally, there will be widespread cyber attacks that will jeopardize the supply of food. Without food and water, we're pretty much screwed, blued, and tattooed. In 2021, for instance, ransomware shut down US baking and beverage companies, agricultural cooperatives in Minnesota, Iowa, and more. There's a lack of flexibility. We want to grow the foods that we want to eat. And that when it comes to prepping, if I can say anything, no matter where you're at in the world, is have some basics. Have some basics that you can actually produce and reproduce on your own property, because those skills they can't take away from us. They may try, just like they did in California, and there's some other states where it's illegal to collect rainwater. I'll be damned if you're going to tell me that I can't collect free rainwater from the heavens above that God is sending us. But the threat surveillance agriculture, it does pose a huge, huge thing to our food supply. And people ask when I talk about this is how dangerous is it really? Shard Secure explains these technologies generate massive amounts of data, just like everything else what I was just talking about with Facebook and other social media. There's over 150 what? Yeah. Well, and that's going to become more and more. I'll touch base on that. I'm going to leave that up there a minute. But this study, according to one IBM study, is that the average farm generates 500,000 data points daily, and unauthorized access to this data can have disastrous, disastrous results. If attackers would breach precision farming tools, they can remotely poison crops, disable millions of tractors, and raise temperatures on poultry farms, enough to kill thousands and thousands of birds in a matter of minutes. Imagine that. We just went through the big scare with the chickens, the ducks, the trout being that they came in and they just wiped out millions of them, right? So they're already doing it in a way. But as scary as that possibility is, that isn't the only threat. Surveillance agriculture will significantly shift the way farmers produce our food. See, these technologies and the products that are being sold to farmers are, again, they are being sold. That's the main key word. So it's important to consider the invested interests of entities behind the surveillance agriculture, such as agri capital, states, and nonprofits. There are people with enough money and power and influence to manipulate data systems to get whatever they want. For instance, what if the data fed to the machine suggests that we need to harvest more bugs instead of meat? Data is used to steer the consumers to certain products. And that's why that I just gave that example that the Facebook algorithm may look different from your neighbors. If you're in a red state or a blue state, you're going to be spoon fed the media that they want you to see, the statistics that they want you to see for that state, which it brings us to another point in prepping is that in the United States is that we're so divided. And being divided, we all know that it's very easy to manipulate the masses and take the sheep to the edge of the cliff. Now imagine if farm algorithms were manipulated. Glenn Davis Stone, he did a special project. It was called Surveillance Agriculture and Peasant Autonomy for the Journal of the Agrarian Change. And here's a really good key argument. If you use agrochemicals, surveillance agricultural technologies can steer farmers toward using more agrochemicals by providing precise recommendations for fertilizer, pesticide applications, potentially increasing the potential presence of chemical residues on the food, like we don't have enough already. Most of the world's largest agrochemical sellers are deeply, deeply involved right now in digital agriculture, including ChemChina, Bayer, Monsanto, BASF, Corteva, formerly Dow DuPont, FMC, and other companies like John Deere, AGCO, CNH. They have formed alliances with seed, pesticide, and fertilizer companies. That should be a big, huge concern. The same exact technology that directs farmers to fertilize or spray less can direct them, right, to fertilize or spray more. So the promotion of these brands, and we've seen it during 2019 during the Kool-Aid drive, right? They promoted by using movie stars, government officials, showing that they were so proud that they got their Kool-Aid. And when in history have we ever seen people come on TV and say, I got it, you haven't got it, and there's a huge problem? It's called segregation. It's called manipulating the masses so that we start talking about it. It's basically giving the circus peanuts so that we all stay distracted. It's like if you give an elephant a peanut, they're distracted by that peanut, and so they can manipulate the elephant to put the chain on them. That's the best way to say it. The other emphasis is on high yield monoculture crops promoted by surveillance agriculture can contribute to the change in our diet. And this means they'll focus on a narrow range of staple crops, potentially reducing the availability of diverse nutrient rich foods. So the dependence on processed foods, as Copycat was giving me a hard time about my tasty, tasty cinnamon roll this morning that's bioengineered, is that when they do this, there's going to be an increase in the production of crops that are suited for processed foods. And it's going to align with corporate interest in processed food markets. So this is going to lead to a higher consumption of processed foods and impacting our health on a daily basis. So I think that one of the biggest things we can do is prepare for this surveillance agriculture, which is getting implemented on a daily basis around the world. There's going to be huge, huge changes to the food supply. And the time to prepare right now is the most important. One is to support farmers, your local farmers market. Seek out the people in your community that produce eggs, farm fresh eggs. Seek out the people that have grass fed cows. Talk to them. See if you can actually, right, get in with maybe another family or two, or maybe you can do it yourself by purchasing your own processed cow from a farm fresh. That's really, really important. Grow your own food, which I've talked about before. Survival Garden Seeds is one of the best ones out there. They're non GMO, they're heirloom seeds. Also, they're not really pricey. I believe there's a link on the main part of the page. They gave us, what was it, like a year and a half ago? They gave us all those seeds, and we actually gave those out free of charge to channel members all across the country. And then why we're all here is to find a like minded community. When it suddenly becomes very, very hard to get the foods that you want and need from the grocery store, it's going to be helpful to know the other ways to get it. Get to know people that have the same mindset, that people that are striving to be self reliant and self sufficient. That is hard in today's world. It is. You're going to have to meet these people at churches, civic events, schools, things like that. And the problem in 2024 and going forward is that we really rely on social media. I'll tell you the truth. I wouldn't trust too many people on social media. I wouldn't trust them to go and meet them. I would be more inclined to meet local people in my own community that I know, because it's going to be one of those things where we really are going to have to be on top of our food sources. Y'all seen me eat bugs before. I will say this. I've ate them, but they're really not the tastiest shit I've ever had in my life. It comes also with choosing your foods wisely. Yes, it is a rough, hard step to for people that are on fixed incomes to be able to go and purchase these healthy foods instead of purchasing all of the, like I did recently. I purchased TV dinners, I purchased a pizza, I purchased cinnamon rolls. But will we ever be able to get away from that? I don't know. I don't know. But stocking up, avoid running out of your favorite foods and put those in your pantry. Also, keep a pantry full of emergency food. After the situation this last year and all the canned food, home canning food that we had there at the cabin, I realized that moving food that's canned is really a huge task. It's a huge task. What I like personally is that if you get the freeze dried foods, if you get foods like that, MREs, excuse me, brown bag food with the heaters in it, things like that, is that in one 5-gallon bucket, you can have a month's supply of food. And it's so easy to move. Grab the handle and like off you go, right? But sticking to doing things the old fashioned way is really, really important. Learning how to, one, maybe make your own, even soaps, shampoos, conditioners, body sprays, all those things have harsh, harsh chemicals in it that's really not good for our face and our skin. One thing that I've started doing, and I really, really feel a difference, is there's some old timey chemicals, old timey medications such as Vicks Vapor Rub, Vaseline, aloe vera. Those three should be really a key in your prepping. I have been taking aloe vera and Vaseline. I mix it in a cap and I stir it around. And the really cool thing about that is one, it's adding a lot of moisture to your face. It's also adding a barrier from the damage the sun can produce on your face. And I've really seen a huge difference. People have actually said to me that I look way, way younger. That's a nice feeling, especially when I got what, 2 more months and I'll be 59 years old, right? So that's a nice feeling. But the thing that I've seen is that my skin feels so much cleaner. I quit using all of those store-bought liquid soaps. If you read the back of a liquid soap, you will be amazed at the chemicals that are in there. Yeah. And I do have that's an old timey too, T Long. It's castor oil. It is. That's an old timey. And that can also help if you're having some digestive issues. But I've gotten away from sodas. There's so many things that I have done to change so that if I do have a day where I want a piece of pizza or I want a Dr. Pepper, I no longer buy soda. I have to go somewhere and get a soda. And the funniest thing to me is that they look at me at a drive-through because there is really an extra small drink. It's about yay big. It's about yay big. And I order an extra small Dr. Pepper. And they're like, "Are you sure? It's the same no matter what size you get." Yes, an extra small will work. So I have changed some of the things in my diet. I want to say a huge, huge thing for me is that switched from chemical cigarettes, which has over what 20,000 chemicals in it, down to tobacco and water. And now from tobacco and water, I'm vaping. I really don't like this. I really want to quit smoking because as y'all know, I've been on this weightlifting journey, getting stronger and healthier. So I don't believe that this is the answer either, but I still need that little bit of nicotine. So my thing right now is to keep puffing this. I don't like the aftertaste and I don't like the cough it gives me. It's just as bad as smoking a cigarette, in my opinion. So my goal here in November is to toss this shit to the side too. This is day 5, no cigarettes. Day 5. What's up, Georgie? And I think taking the little steps, trying to find your way, along this journey of life, you have to just keep on doing the things that are important. When we were talking about the agriculture surveillance, I don't know about y'all, but I like some good damn food. I do. And when you start thinking, oh my God, what is happening to the food supply? It is very, very scary. It's very scary. Now, what was your comment? Shoot, I moved your comment. I was going to discuss it a little bit. What'd you say, Penny, up here? Okay. About the stores closing. We'll talk about that a little bit. And we've been talking about it for the last 2, 3 years. See, the thing is, folks, is we're living through this miraculous time, this time of industrial revolution. Have we heard that before? Right? So we're going to see more and more stores close. Right now, how many of you have seen some type of major chain store close in your area? Between Facebook, YouTube, And my other platform that I'll be announcing to the channel here in the next 30 days, right now there's about 220 people on here. Uh, Mark down, hit a one if you've seen it, or say yes if you've seen a major chain store that is crumbling. Also, I've seen recently here in Colorado restaurants, chain restaurants, and all of a sudden they're open, they seem like they're thriving, and on a Thursday they give their crew a notice that they're closing the doors and locking them on Friday, and that's no shit. That has happened a lot recently. I think that we're going to see this more and more as people said, well, AI is not going to really take over people's jobs. Well, what is it going to do then? Of course, it's going to take over people's jobs. How could it not take over people's jobs? It's going to. Smart cities are going to take over people's jobs. And I want to touch a little bit on smart cities this morning. You know, smart cities, people to think about, oh, this is wonderful. We have all these things at our fingertips. But what is smart cities really going to do? It's going to cost me and you our freedom. The red, white, and blue has always stood for freedom. We've always had the choice to choose our religion, choose the schools that our kids go to, all these wonderful things. And to me, that is what the red, white, and blue has always stood for. But as we start to see it crumble, right, and more and more smart cities popping up all across the country, it is going to cost us the freedoms that we have left. Once upon a time, a long time ago, and you might remember this wonderful cartoon, The Jetsons, or maybe the movie The Terminator, or the computer game The Sims. All were viewed as entertainment. But with the rise of smart cities, these forms of entertainment seem more like a prophecy. And many people have said that. As the government utilizes more and more advanced technology, AI, Internet of Things, it has more access to our daily lives. And we have volunteered to do that. We volunteer to give our birthday, what's our favorite color, if we're married, what we weigh, how tall we are. And many people fall for biometrics, where you open your phone with your fingerprint or you open your phone with your face. Folks, they're leading us to the edge of the cliff. They're leading us to a overreach of the government where it's a total tyrannical overreach, where they are able to control what we see, what we think, what we consume, and who we become. If you really, really think about it, make no mistake, that is the end game. Smart cities already exist around the world, and they're already here in the United States. As the government utilizes more and more of this tech and the internet, it has more access and control over where you go, shop, grow, and even what we eat. And keep, thinking about this. What is a smart city? According to the Institute for Defense and Business, the Internet of Things, IoT, excuse me, is revolutionizing how governments manage cities. And I'm talking about every single aspect of city life, from healthcare, security, water, energy, economic development, housing, and waste. It can really now be connected and monitored remotely. And that's why they're calling them smart cities. They actually leverage technology to meet the demands of residents and provide greater efficiencies in delivering services. You may remember this about I think it was about a year and a half ago, on in Colorado. After they put in the smart meters, they did a test run, and the test run was this: we are going to turn everybody's electric to the same temperature. Do y'all remember this? This is test runs being demanded and shown around the world that they have control and we don't. In the Philippines, every single day I was there, almost at the exact time, the water would go off. There would be no water source. Imagine, with the advancement of AI and the technology, that they turn off the electric for an extended period, that they turn off your water or my water for an extended period. Or maybe they decide that T. Long and George Mitchell did not do for the better of the community, for the better of the smart city, and they left it off indefinitely until you straightened up. See, smart cities, they're really being sold as this revolutionary way to use tech to make our life easier. Shit, how easy does our life have to get? You know, very true, Penny. It can happen anywhere. And it has happened. Rolling blackouts, those type of things. We have become a very lazy society around the world to the point that we feel like if there's a catastrophe, somebody's coming in to save the day. For example, Katrina, people were warned to get out. People were warned every single day around the world to get out of a weather catastrophe. But do they listen? No. Why? Oh, because the government is going to come save the day. The government is not going to save you. The government is not going to save me. The government is going to sit and watch us burn. That's exactly what's going to happen. But I want to say this. National Geographic put out this wonderful article about smart cities. Because the things that I told you above about leaders claiming it's a wonderful solution to climate problems, traffic congestion, electric grid overload, and more, that's not the whole truth, folks. It's really not the whole truth. National Geographic went in and they described smart cities as this, quote, cities are getting smarter to provide for improved delivery and quality of services through continuous monitoring of residents and infrastructure and communications. A smart city then is a city in which a suite of sensors, typically hundreds of thousands of them, is deployed to collect data from and about the people and the infrastructure in that area. Smart cities work by continuously monitoring citizens. Smart devices on road monitor where you go and whom you spend your time with. Smart devices on store doors monitors who comes and goes and what purchases are made. If you really think about it, it's a terrifying reality. And the reality is that they will be able to control utilities, and it does get worse. Smart cities give the government control over all major utilities, all major utilities. As cities go smart, it means that someone on the other side of the tech has the power to monitor and control your utilities, such as water and electric. They'll be able to say, Penny, you use too much electric, so this week you're going to be punished. We're not going to allow it because your carbon footprint is too heavy. National Geographic actually went into detail to explain control of one's house electricity can be handled easily from a centralized location without requiring a utility crew to go out and turn it on or off. Once again, loss of jobs. Once again, loss of jobs due to AI and tech. There's groups of interconnected loads and sources that typically connect to the wider grid, but they can also now be disconnected to operate such as an island. In other words, if your neighbors and your neighborhood uses too much power, the higher ups can watch and monitor and turn it into a powerless island. If the powers that be don't want you to grow your own food, they can turn off your water and destroy your crops. See, it really is about the Bill of Rights being shredded. It really is about the Bill of Rights being put on fire and controlling every aspect of my life and yours, of the future generations of people and kids all around the world. See, by forcing people into smart cities, you don't get to say the government will have control. Your opinions will not matter. Your vote will not matter. And Lee O. Hollis, author of Cities Are Good for You, told The Guardian, in the end, the smart city will destroy democracy. Like Google, they'll have enough data not to have to ask you what you want. They'll spoon feed it to you through your threads. We all know people who have a smart house. They thought it was the coolest shit ever. I remember Many years ago when I was in the Navy, we went to Epcot. I was stationed there in Florida, in Orlando. And we went to Epcot, and they had this home of the future. Maybe some of you remember this. So as you go to see the home of the future, oh, wow, that's cool. It can turn on lights. Oh, wow, cool. It can turn on your heater, your air conditioner. We are living in that futuristic city. Smart homes, smart technology is a way for the governments and the entities that make these products to be able to see exactly what you're doing at all times. The cell phone is a great GPS, and we all carry them on a daily basis. Now consider the government having so much control over an entire city population. Townsend, in his 2000 book, he wrote, it's called Smart Cities. Fabulous book, y'all. What began as a tool to predict rain and manage flood response morphed into a high precision control panel for the entire city. The book was written by Antonio M. Townsend in his 2013 book called Smart Cities. If you've never read it, it's a great read. And also, what was the movie? Dragon Day also shows that same monitoring system over and over. He then quoted Rio Mayor Eduardo Paes as boasting, the Operations Center allows us to have people looking into every corner of the city 24 hours a day, 7 day a week. Now that's scary. And somebody mentioned the 15-minute cities. See, 15-minute cities have been sold to us like with a bill of goods. Like, oh, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. You can walk out your front door. You'll have access. You won't have to travel more than 15 minutes. You can walk or you can ride a bike. Well, that may be the only option they give you, right? That may be the only option. You'll have grocery stores and medical centers and parks, all these wonderful things within 15 minutes of the neighborhood. And governments and the WEF are heavily, heavily pushing this idea. It has created a political conflict in Europe because Europe doesn't really like it. They're also going to try to sell it as making your life easier. They're worried that these 15-minute cities are a form of government control that restricts where citizens go. Would it be? Could it be? So your little neighborhood, within 15 minutes, y'all decide to have a block party. The government says you can't have block parties anymore. You can't barbecue outside because it's not good for the environment. You definitely can't let your kids run on the street because we don't want them running in the grass of the 15-minute city. But this little neighborhood, this little island that's within 15 minutes, I'm just running a scenario. They decide, we miss the old days, we miss the old ways, so we're going to do it. When they do it, when it happens, by George, the government knows exactly what the hell you're doing, and they turn off the whole island, the whole 15-minute city. That can happen. That is a reality of what's occurring around the world. In the UK, Transport Secretary Mark Harper said, there's nothing wrong with making sure that people can walk or cycle to the shops or school. This is traditional town planning. But what is different? What is sinister? And what we shouldn't tolerate is that local councils can decide how often you go to shop. They can ration your food. They can ration who uses the roads, and they can ration your electricity and your water. And then police can scan it all with CCTV. Harper expressed that many people are in fear of this new technology. It will go from convenience and happiness of a 15-minute city to control over every aspect of your life. And the real danger of a smart city and 15-minute cities is cybersecurity risk. The system crashes. Technology fails. Have we ever seen that happen? Have you ever went to turn on your internet or your cell phone and it doesn't work? The internet goes offline. It happens all the time around the world. But what would that mean for a smart city where everything from water usage to traffic lights can easily go down. What would that mean? See, the other big hand in this would be constant government oversight. Smart cities allow for way too much government oversight. An information security officer for the city of Tampa says regarding smart city personal data collection, quote, I don't know if I want that overview of my life. But that's the privacy concern. It's all there. Nothing is going to be hackable and available to government overreach. So he backtracked. You take AI on top of that and add a certain bank digital currency called CBDC. And now everything you spend and whether you can spend it and what you can spend it on is all going to be tracked. It'll be riding on somebody else's rules and regulations, not on your own budget and the things that you need in your life. And to me, that is really, really scary. Continuous monitoring and continuous control over our lives on a daily basis. When the cities that we're living in embrace smart city technology, you are not going to get a say in your day to day life. And right now, it'll be convenience. And as the generations and as the years pass, it'll be total control. How many of you right now have a smart meter on your phone, on your house, your electric? That smart meter gives them so much control over what you do, what you consume, and how you consume it. See, it won't be the same as us going to work and working 40 hours, no matter what level you're at. If you're on disability, Social Security, if you're middle class, or if you have a really high paying job. It will all rely on your social status, if you're a good little boy or girl, if you do what the government tells you to do, if you don't speak out and speak up, if you just mind your P's and Q's, you'll be able to go on without a lot of hiccups. But are we that complacent that that's what we want? The level of monitoring is actually obscene, but it's real. And it's happening around the country and around the world. Once it completely takes grasp, I'll tell you this, it's going to go from monitoring traffic data for improving congestion to monitoring where we can go and what we can do and who we can talk to. Do you want the government to know everywhere you go? Do you want them to know every single thing that you buy? I don't, because it shouldn't be anybody's business except mine and my family's. Should they decide meat is bad for everybody in the environment? Should they be able to take that away from each and every one of us that we can't have prime rib or a T-bone or a hamburger on the grill? They could actually see when you're headed to the steakhouse. Maybe they'll put limitations on that. Maybe they'll only say that we can consume so much meat. Maybe they'll say we can only consume so many vegetables. I know many of us try to live healthier by the diets that we have and the things that we do, but imagine the government having control over that. Oh, Penny and T Long just went to the steakhouse. That's all you get this month. They'll begin rationing things to each and every one of us as the smart cities become in place. The really interesting thing is, what if they decide to outlaw gun purchases? They'll see when and where you purchase ammo. Is that happening already? You know, a lot of people on YouTube have been raising the alarm about the WEF and elites attempting to stop people from eating meat and pushing bugs instead. They really don't like us to talk about topics anymore on YouTube. But what if your smart city or your 15-minute city, instead of traditional grocery stores, you're the lucky winner and you get bug factories? It's not that much of a stretch considering how many bug food companies already exist in the United States and how many more are popping up around the country. The most important thing I can say today is feed yourself and free yourself. Henry Kissinger once upon a time said, who controls the food supply controls the people. Who controls the energy can control whole continents. Who controls money can control the world. Smart cities will make that easier and easier than ever before. Now is the time to learn how to feed yourself. Now is the time to learn how to clean nasty, disgusting water, how to actually filter it and go forward. Now is the time to invest in your heirloom seeds, start a hobby farm with chickens, build up your emergency food stash, build or buy a solar power generator, water filtration devices in case your neighborhood becomes the next island, in case you are cut off from everything around you, in case our neighborhood decides to have a block party, which goes against the government, in case you speak out on social media and you take a strike on YouTube, or maybe they take your whole channel. Should we ever give up? I don't think so. The Bill of Rights, our Constitution, were put in place by very, very wise men from many, many years ago. And I think the most important thing we can do is learn food independence, how we can learn how to utilize the things around us to make things better on a day-to-day basis. I know this got onto a serious topic, but I think it's important. Many of my live streams now will start with maybe some comedy, some music, or whatever, so that we just try to stay a little under the, is it called Smart City Radar? It may be called Smart City Radar. Hello, Carmen. Hey, KY. But as we see these smart cities and these 15-minute cities escalate into bigger and bigger things, which they're already happening. China, for example, is very interesting. They take pictures of you wherever you're at. Don't go wee-wee in the corner. Don't let your dog take a crap on your neighbor's yard. Facial recognition is real. We're seeing that with cell phones. We're seeing it jobs, and they really went after it during the pandemic, right? They really went after it. Show your face, do your fingerprint. We want to make sure you are who you are. When smart cities take over, and they're creeping in this technology piece by piece by piece, when it happens, when it's full tilt, there's not going to be time to prepare. There's not going to be time for you to learn the skills, because then it's going to be at your front door. That's a big, big problem in the United States, is many of us believe it won't happen here. It's already happening. And it's going to continue to happen, and it's going to become like a snowball effect, bigger and bigger and bigger, until they've creeped in all these different aspects of the 15-minute city and the smart cities, where we have no chance to be able to prep up. The time is of the essence. See, many preppers, including myself, have said it over the years. Time is of the essence. You better do it. You better get ready, because it's going to happen. And people say, oh, those damn preppers, they're always doom and gloom. They're always talking shit. No. See, the slow burn, when they can take away things piece by piece by piece from our Bill of Rights, our Constitution, our God-given rights, when they can take those away without shaking up the masses, right? Without them shaking up the masses, it just lets them keep slow burning us. And sooner or later, the burn will be full tilt. It will be full tilt. Learn the skills. Prep now. Don't wait for tomorrow. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. But the thing that I want to say honestly too is, a lot of people say, well, I've been prepping my whole life. I'm prepper burnout. Bullshit. Prepping is a way of life. Prepping is for so many things. Your spirit, financial, relationships, the things, right? The goods, ammo, guns. If they get our guns and they get our ammo, if they really start tracking those and pinpointing everybody, there's a new word out that is really dangerous, because this, my friends, is what they're doing to people. They are labeling you because you want freedom. They're labeling you that. And once you become labeled that, they will raid your home. They will take your guns. They will take your freedom. And they will throw you in the slammer. And it's happening more and more around this country. Until we change and really work on change, and we can't change, I can't change y'all. Y'all can't change me. What we can change is being ready for the unknown the best that we can, and not to stop prepping, and to not stop teaching your sons, your daughters, your grandkids the skills that our ancestors had. Foraging off the land, learning how to tap a tree for water, learning where those water sources are. Well, there you go. Yep, they're making them everywhere, and you're right, Carmen, and it's going to happen more and more and more. And people are looking at the convenience. See, the problem in the United States is we've gotten very lazy. We've gotten very lazy, very complacent of the things that are happening around us. Well, it's not going to happen to me. It's not going to happen in my backyard. The US is the greatest ever. Are we? They could. They could. But you know what, KY? I'm willing. I'm willing to fight for freedom. I'm willing, and I always have been, to stand on what I believe is our God-given rights. And our God-given rights are we should be able to collect rainwater. We should be able to plant our gardens. We should be able to have chickens, ducks, geese, a cow, pigs, vegetables. Those things, we should be able to have them. Nobody has the right to tell me I can't have them. And if I go down or they knock on my door in the little black car, so be it. If we don't stand now for something, we'll never stand for nothing. That's the truth. And the thing is, folks, as they roll in more and more tech, people believe it's the best thing since peach cobbler. Take me to Kentucky and let me have peach cobbler down there and some sweet tea because they're full of shit. They're full of shit. And that's the big thing, Kentucky. That's huge. I was just talking about that. Is that they have promoted the chaos, the division. Republicans are this, Democrats are this. I'll tell you what they both parties are. They're both full of shit. They're both united in the chaotic bullshit. And when you look at the parties, what they used to represent, and what they represent now, it's chaos. A friend of mine at work last night, his name's Kenny. He said, "Man, I want to leave this country. I don't want to raise my kids here." He said, "This country's so divided that people get so angry at each other. They got us by the balls. They got us by the balls, and they're manipulating people, like I just spoke about 15 minutes earlier, with the algorithms. I'm a YouTube superstar. I'm looking for a shirt, and now all I see in my feed is shirts. I want to buy a new car, and now all you see everywhere you go, open your phone. Oh, Google's telling me to buy this car. I was just thinking about that car. I just did a search for it. AI is not here to enhance our lives. AI is here to take over our lives with smart cities and 15-minute cities, smart technology, smart TVs, smartphones, smart electricity, and total control. Learn the basis of going gray. Learn how to forage. Learn, even if you're can poor people prep? Hell yeah, you can prep. Can poor people stand up? Hell yeah, we can stand up. Can we change what the government's going to do? No. Can we change how we will react? Yes. And how do we do that? By prepping skills, first aid, plant a garden. Even if you don't know how to plant a garden, you might surprise yourself this spring. Get 6 buckets, throw some damn seeds in there, and don't even worry about watering it and see what grows. See, God is really miraculous when it comes to that type of thing. He knew we were lazy. And you're right, T Long. We can do anything we set our minds to. We can prosper. See, the times are going to keep on changing. They're going to keep on rolling if you like it or not. You got to roll with the punches. Just like I got some low blows this year on YouTube, I'm going to keep on rolling. I'm going to keep on being me. And I'm going to keep on doing the dang thing. I'm going to keep on taking the steps to make sure that I can try to protect me, my family, my great niece, my nephew, anybody that's my family that is in my mag. We, yeah, we can do anything but get along, and that's the truth. You know, I think that when the rain stops and this new chapter of life starts with the 15 smart city, the 15 cities, the smart cities, the 15-minute cities, is the thing that's really interesting to me. Is time going to keep on ticking? It's going to keep on going, and we're stronger than most people give us. The United States has gotten a little weak. We've gotten a little weak. Our military's weak. The technology, we're way, way behind other countries. We're way behind. But the thing is we can continue to go because when that rain leaves, when that storm washes over us, the thing is that we know that we're way stronger than most people think. That's why they want to get our guns. That's why they want to do that. The thing is that you got to keep on going no matter what because a change is coming if you like it or not. Change is coming. It's here. And me personally, I've been prepping in the real world. I'm not going to stop living because of the things that are happening around us. That makes no sense at all. You got to keep living. You got to keep going. Yeah, exactly. We're not as weak as they think we are. We've just gotten a little pacified and a little lazy. But a change is coming no matter what. No matter how we feel about it, no matter what's going on in life, the changes are coming. There, many of us feel it already, and we just got to keep on keeping on. Keep your faith, stay centered, stay focused on what makes you happy. Don't get caught up in all the bullshit and the negativity all the time, day in and day out. I know this was a pretty serious conversation this morning about the smart cities, the agriculture, the things they're trying to do. But the thing is I feel these changes. I see them. And I think with this low burn, it's very, very easy for people not to see the change. And I guess maybe it's because we've become so used to this burn that we're like, oh, it's just another change. It's just another way to keep, for them to throw a wrench at us. And they are. They are. They're definitely setting us up from the southern border to the northern border to our food supply to the smart cities to the smart technology to the things that are happening around this country. And the big one is the division. And if we would just put aside the political parties that really don't give a rat's ass about us and focus on the things we need to do, the footwork that we need to do, things would be a hell of a lot better. A hell of a lot better. I hope that everybody enjoyed the live stream this morning. I'm going to start bringing it back pretty much every day. But I want to say one thing is hold on and hold on tight because change is coming. God bless you from here in Colorado to wherever you're at. Make it count. Keep doing the dang thing. Don't give up. Don't give in. Do the dang thing and hold on because change is coming. smart city. Just keep holding on. A 15 smart city, a 15-minute city. It's coming to a town near you. Don't be too overly excited. And I will start posting more live streams now that I have like a pretty much regular schedule. The cool thing is I'm off on Sundays, which means that we get to have trivia on Sunday nights again. It's almost Christmas and Thanksgiving season. I'm going to be working on some productions of some animation videos for Christmas. I don't think I'm going to get one done for Halloween. I'll show a repeat or something. But a lot of people didn't like the Halloween ones. They thought I was, well, you know. But anyway, I'm going to work on a new Christmas video. I really, if you can join as a member, I really, really appreciate it. I am not monetizing my shows because if I monetize them, then they go after me. So I'm just going to speak my mind and not worry about the monetization. But if you could please, it's 99 cents a month. I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart, if you could join as a member, give some memberships, whatever, that would really help so that I can keep rolling out music because I love music. And if you love music, 99 cents. Come on. And anyway, I'm not going to beg you. I'm going to still be here no matter what. I want to say on the way out is I can see clearly now. The rain is gone, and love, light, and hope is where we need to be. This is the last song. I can see clearly now by Jimmy Cliff. I hope and I pray for each and every one of you every single day. I'm glad to see your faces back. I'm back. I'm going to bring some news broadcasts because that's what you all love, and I'm going to give the people what they love. We're going to have some in depth conversations about the gray man theory, about prepping on the cheap, about some of my old shows I did, and some of the new shows that I'm going to be bringing at you. Let's get centered. Let's get focused. And remember, after the rain lifts, after all the bullshit you go through in life, you will be able to see clearly. So God bless you from here in Colorado to wherever you're at. Boom. Thank you, KY. Go buy that debit. Go get that debit card. Just put $12 on it, pay for a year. You're hoping the Grinch will show up. Well, if you never know. Folks, this goes out to you. Change is coming. I can see clearly now. And y'all keep on doing the dang thing no matter what. Stay focused. Stay on top of your gear. First in, first out. Rotate your stock. Is that like rotating your women? I don't know. I'm just asking for a friend. No, 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 no. Don't rotate your husbands or wives. That's not really nice. Try to stay dedicated. Everybody, this is last call, last song, last call for alcohol. God bless you. Big, huge prepper hugs. And I hope that you can see clearly now where smart cities and 15-minute cities are taking us. Smart technology is taking us to the edge of the cliff.